Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to beat the blues with this Flippin Frenzy. I'm opening my package from Connie, the painted photographer. She gave me these lovely papers and even a bookmark. And I'll show you what else she got me in that big box. So yeah, she gave me a ton of different papers that I can do some fun things with for later projects too. And then she gave me this metal plate, and there was a metal like mail holder or something. I'm not sure what exactly it was used for. And then she gave me the sign. I really liked it. I had a hard time painting it over because I liked the saying on it. And then there was this heavy metal burn bath too. Let me see. Oh, there it is. And yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but it's beautiful. And then lastly, there is a three picture frame and then a cup. You'll see the cup here in a second. It's a really unique, different cup. I haven't seen that kind of cup before. So here is a little video of everything that I got in the box. So let's start our flip. So this is the suitcase that I found at the Goodwill bins. And the inside was not so great, but the outside had really good bones. And so I picked it up and I was wanting to cover it in a decoupage paper and paint it. So I started to paint it with DIY White Swan paint, and that gave it a really good base for the decoupage paper. With decoupage paper you will see the background, and so it's really important to put down a coat of color, whether you'll see later on that I'm using some color with another decoupage paper. But here I decided to cover up that brown. I didn't want the brown color shining through the paper because the paper is really thin. So here I'm going to cover the whole suitcase with this White Swan. And later on, after it dries, I'll put the decoupage paper on it. I just love using the DIY paint. It's a chalk-based paint and it really covers quite well. It goes on very smoothly and it's easily manipulated by water, so you can blend it really quite well, as you'll see here in a little bit. I'm trying not to paint the metal parts. Eventually I'd like to paint them gold or some metallic color. So this is the first project that I'm starting off with. I'm going to use the Prom Queen and Queen Bee from DIY Paint for this project. So I think this is like a mail holder or something, but I'm using one of Connie's papers, and it's rice paper. So it's a little thicker than decoupage paper, which is good. It kind of has more time you can manipulate it. Right now I am using a wet paintbrush, just water on the paintbrush, and creating a line so I can rip the paper easily. Isn't that a beautiful piece of paper? I love the is it poppies? I don't know. It's just beautiful. I love the colors. So I'm ripping off the sides, and then I'm going to attach that to the back of that tin mail holder. And it's not big enough to cover the whole back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the tin with that prom queen on the bottom. But then I decided I'm also going to paint the top area where there's a little yellow there on the top. I'm going to paint that yellow. So what I did here is I started with the prom queen on the bottom. And of course, you see I got the little metal fencing there. So I end up actually painting the fencing completely with the different colors. So I'm starting off on the bottom and working my way up. The blue on the bottom and the queen bee from DIY paint on the top, and then I kind of shaded in between, so it turned out to have that green color, almost apothecary color in the middle there, and I really liked that. But I'm going to add this paper to the back there, and so you're going to see some of the queen bee popping out from the top of the paint or from the paper, and then the blue on the bottom. So here I'm kind of sealing it and using the Mod Podge to glue the paper onto the back there. And I really like kind of the almost ombre effect that it has on the front there. I did paint the fencing. It almost looks like chicken wire. I don't even know what it is. Tell me in the comments what it was actually used for. Maybe a mailbox. I don't know. But I really like how the colors kind of blended and turned out here. So I'm moving on to that middle plate that Connie sent me, and the middle, I really like the metal of the plate. It's really unusual, but the middle had some scrapes and bumps and things like that that weren't so pretty. So I decided to put some decoupage paper on, and this is the same decoupage paper that I'm going to use for the suitcase, so you'll see it a little bit later. But it is from Roy Cycled Decoupage Paper Company. So It is a beautiful decoupage paper, really thin, and so I'm being very careful here. But I'm just going to put the paper on the bottom circle part. I'm not going to attach it to the whole plate. So you'll see again a little later how that looks, but it gives it a little more unique look to it, I think. And I forgot to mention, but I am using Mod Podge for this as well. So here I cut the paper and is making the final gluing. Here it is all cut and trimmed, and I added 3 flowers from the IOD Menagerie. I'm going to use the Salvation Solution in white to cover up the saying on the sign. I don't want the wording to come through. I'll also use some DIY paint to really blend it in with the color of the rice paper. I really like using the Salvation Solution. It works very much like primer, where it's a little thicker than normal paint, and with 1 or 2 coats you can really get a good base. And so some of these signs that you find flipping and thrifting out there may have some residue on them, or the saying or something could shine through your paint, and so this is a really good base. So here I'm trying to decide which paint to use to kind of blend in. I end up using cake batter and sandy blonde and kind of just blending it together to get that color. I'm not sure what color Connie used as her background for her rice paper, but I felt like this was a pretty good match to what she did. So here I'm just blending it. I think that's cake batter. Yeah, oh, that looks like actually like sandy blonde. So earlier I actually used an IOD mold called Blossom and used some air dry clay that IOD makes as well. And they have this beautiful blossom mold, and so the blossoms in the mold really match what Connie did on her paper. So I'm painting this, and I'm using a lot of different colors, but this right now I'm using Kissing Booth and Cowboy Coral. And so I'm just adding and blending and dry brushing that Cowboy Coral onto the flowers to kind of give it a 3-dimensional look. I also use some mint chip, aviary, and white swan, and also queen bee to kind of give it more of a realistic look there. of different colors. So here I'm putting on the aviary and a little bit of the mint chip just to give it some highlights and lowlights. And then I also used the sandy blonde and some darkened decrepit to get that brown on the stem. So unfortunately, the block or the sign that I'm covering is out of the frame, but you'll see the finished picture at the end. And finally, for those 3 little small frames, I had this book, and it has all of these different old photos, and I found these that would fit perfectly. And so I added those to the 3 frames. Here I am putting the decoupage paper on my suitcase. And so you can see the whole suitcase has been painted white, and now I'm just going in and using my decoupage paper with some water and some Mod Podge, and I am starting on the very top and kind of working my way down, wetting the paper as I go, and putting the Mod Podge down as I go as well. Here at the top, I had to cut around all of those metal, and so here is the final reveal. I hope you enjoyed this thrift flip with the Beat the Blues theme in our little suitcases. There is a whole bunch more of these thrift flips going through Sonnet's membership group, so stay tuned for more. And let me know what you think in the comments. Please join my channel for more thrift flips in the future. Thank you.